If you thought that I was gonna let the K-pop boys off the hook, definitely not. I'm back for part 2 of my series where I react to and review all the latest fashion campaigns that feature our favorite K-pop idols. In my previous video, we took a look at all the glam girl campaigns and you guys really liked that video. And I'm actually so hyped to see that you guys really liked that video. So for this video, we're gonna be going after all the boys. Recently, there's been more and more fashion campaigns that are either starring K-pop idols or they feature K-pop idols, which is always great. I always love to see K-pop idols in these campaigns. But just how well do these brands actually know how to utilize the K-pop idols? You're about to find out because I'm going to show you some recent fashion campaigns that feature some of our favorite K-pop idol boys. I'm going to walk you through the campaign, teach you a little bit about the brand and the brand's aesthetic, show you what the K-pop idol is wearing, and from there you'll really be able to see which K-pop idols and which brands are actually doing a good job with these campaigns. This is going to be such a fun video, you guys. So here are the K-pop idols we're going to be covering in this video. So we have Tomorrow by Together, Stray Kids. I know you guys are loving this list already. We have Doyoung from NCT, Vernon from Kenzo, Sunwoo from the Boyz, and Eunwoo from Astro. Tomorrow by Together, who are all ambassadors for Dior, are featured in the brand's Fall/Winter 24 campaign. Dior Men's, which is designed by Kim Jones, has two distinct sides to it in my opinion. So the first side is more so this kind of soft, classic, elegant tailoring, and the opposite side to it is more so this kind of opulent streetwear focus side. And in my opinion, this campaign that features Tomorrow by Together is definitely more so on the former side, the kind of classical, elegant, soft tailoring. The Fall/Winter 24 Dior Men's collection was all about this idea of showing a softer side of masculinity, like a gentle masculinity. There were a lot of elements in the show that were kind of inspired by like ballet, for example. A lot of the collection had a lot of softer lines, softer shoulder lines. And this is really interesting because I feel like this kind of softer masculinity aligns very well with what I've come to associate with K-pop. In the campaign that features Tomorrow by Together, you'll actually see that there are ballet bars featured in the campaign, which is something that's also present in the main collection campaign for the brand. Okay, let's get into what the members of Tomorrow by Together were wearing in the campaign. So Soobin was wearing a double-breasted gray suit with an oblique print zip-up underneath. Taehyun was wearing a long kind of dark brown coat, again oblique print layered underneath. Kai was wearing a single button light brown suit, again with an oblique zip-up underneath. Bumgi wore a look that was very similar to Taehyun's look. He wore a long gray coat, which is the same coat but in a different color, and then he also layered it over a turtleneck as well. And finally, Yeonjun wore this kind of pullover pajama-ish top that was slightly more elevated because it looks like it was made out of either like a super fine wool or a cashmere. There was a lot of consistencies in their look, which falls right in line with this whole group dynamic thing. So you can see that a lot of them wore the oblique print. And if you don't know, the oblique print is basically the Dior print you see like Kai wearing, you see Soobin wearing underneath, that kind of print that has the repeating Dior. And all of them also wore matching sets, like Soobin wore the matching top and bottom, Kai wore the matching top and bottom, Yeonjun, same thing. And you'll also see that a lot of them wore these kind of gray tones. And the reason you see often a lot in Dior and Dior collections, you'll always see gray, is that gray was, I guess, apparently the favorite color of Christian Dior, which is the founder of the Dior brand itself. In terms of the campaign itself and how I feel about Tomorrow by Together being incorporated in this campaign, I do think it aligned with Dior's intended aesthetic, and I appreciated the fact that they included the ballet bars in there as well. But in terms of the looks, I feel like this very much goes on with this idea that a lot of people have been feeling like Dior campaigns that feature Tomorrow by Together are a little bit boring, and the looks they feature are a little bit boring. And I can slightly agree with that. I think that the looks do age them a little bit, like this kind of like all tonal gray suiting. I feel like when we think of Tomorrow by Together, we associate them with more of these kind of like bright, playful, whimsical kind of vibes. But I mean, it is interesting to see them in a different kind of context like this, but I would have liked to see them incorporate something a little bit more signature Tomorrow by Together, or what we think of Tomorrow by Together in this campaign a little bit more, rather than just putting them in the straight runway looks and the straight same looks that the brand is trying to push, you know what I mean? I actually really like Soobin's look. I think the suit fits him actually perfectly. And Soobin is kind of serving in the photo where he's standing with Kai and Taehyun. Like, he's actually serving you guys. Out of all the members, which of the outfits you guys like the most? Let me know in the comments. Trust me when I say it's so rare for a brand to love their ambassadors as much as Tommy Hilfiger loves Stray Kids. And not only does Tommy Hilfiger love Stray Kids, they actually show it as well. And they continue their momentum and their energy by featuring Stray Kids in their latest Fall/Winter 24 campaign. Tommy Hilfiger's aesthetic is really rooted in this idea of Americana. Like, it's all about this kind of preppy, collegiate vibe. So much so that their signature colors are red, white, and blue. Like, it's all American, you guys. Like, this is what Tommy Hilfiger is all about. And with this campaign with Stray Kids, I really do think that aesthetic really comes through. Like, you see the collegiate crest, you see the bomber jackets, you see the striped ties, like all of that is what I think of when I think of this kind of all-American preppy college boy vibe. This is actually such a fun campaign because it features Stray Kids as a full group as well as in different kind of unit pairings. Instead of describing what each of the members is wearing, because that'll take literally forever because there's so many members, so many different outfits, I'm gonna walk you through the campaign and show you the elements that are really giving me that kind of collegiate all-American vibe. So first and most obvious thing you can see is that it incorporates a lot of the red, white, and blue in the campaign. An element that's very present throughout the campaign are all the Tommy Hilfiger crests. These are kind of reminiscent of like different college crests. There's also a lot of denim pieces in the campaign as well. I think this is something a lot of people can easily buy into. It's giving very like 90s Tommy Hilfiger vibes, especially that kind of darker mid-wash. The varsity jacket that Ian wears in the group photo, again, that's a very like kind of collegiate vibe, especially with the tie. It's giving very much like classroom to the field, you know? Something I appreciate about the campaign is that in a lot of the looks, they layer the Oxford collar shirt underneath, and I think that looks good in a lot of the different settings. Like if you see Sungmin's, his is more kind of like formal, and then Ian has it layered under like the varsity jacket. I think it's interesting that they're able to give that shirt a lot of different context, and it looks good in all of them. I actually really do like this campaign a lot because it really does feel refreshing to see in a campaign a lot of pieces that you can actually like buy into. Like it's kind of refreshing. Like the rugby polo, I would want to buy that. Like the denim shirt, I would want to get that. You know what I mean? I actually really like that about this campaign. My favorite look from the campaign is probably the look with Hyunjin, where he layered the Oxford shirt underneath the rugby polo. I think they could have done something cool with this campaign where they had like all of the members wear like the rugby polo. That would have really emphasized this idea of them being like a team, like they're kind of like a rugby team, if that makes sense. But yeah, that would have been cool. I think it would be cool if they were to make like a special, like kind of collaboration with Stray Kids where they made like the rugby polos and you could like buy that. Like that would be very cool in my opinion. Yeah, this was a fun campaign, honestly. It really was a fun campaign. I think they communicated this idea of like a college team, like college frat boys very well. The only thing I would have liked to see them in like a different setting rather than just like a rooftop, which is fun. Like that's already better than like, let's say like a seamless backdrop. But yeah, I would have liked to see them in a college setting. That would have been fun. That would have been cooler, or like different kind of settings. If they're already gonna invest so much resources into the photo shoot, might as well just go all the way, right? Kenzo's first global ambassador, Vernon of 17, just made a small appearance in a campaign for them. Kenzo is a brand whose design ethos is all about combining elements of East meets West. Like there are elements of Japanese wear combined with elements of Americana. And I actually think they do a great job of combining these two cultures in their clothing collections. Their creative director, Nigo, does a really good job. And I don't think that the brand or Nigo gets the credit that they deserve for doing this because I actually think it's one of like the very few brands that does it well. So then for this fall winter 24 Kenzo collection, it was inspired by this kind of Japanese infused sci-fi East meets West. I know that sounds like a lot, but if you see Vernon's outfit, you kind of get a better understanding of it. In the first set of photos, Vernon wears what Kenzo calls the Star Tiger denim set. So the jacket and then the bottoms. And it's called that because in the jacket itself, there's kind of these embroideries that represent these kind of constellations that form a tiger. And the tiger is one of Kenzo's signature like emblems or signature mascots, if you want to call it that. So then the stars that form the constellations in the denim set or that form the tigers is supposed to be representative of that kind of sci-fi idea. And then the denim, the thing with denim is that it's a very kind of like Japanese East meets West kind of fabric in general because the jacket is actually produced by a Japanese denim manufacturer called Kaihara. And they make some of the best denim, but then denim is also inherently like a very American kind of fabric. So again, that East meets West, sci-fi meets Japan, if that makes sense by now. And in the second set of photos, Vernon wears the bomber jacket that they call the Cloud Tiger, Tiger in the Clouds, again, the signature tiger motif. And do you see how under the denim jacket, Vernon's wearing this kind of like Japanese schoolboy, school uniform type of collar? Again, this idea of like East meets West. I mean, overall, I think this campaign is fine. I think Vernon looks great. The pieces look great on him. I get that they're trying to push these pieces, but I feel like the set was a little bit uninspired. They could have definitely done something with the set, you know what I mean? Like, what is this staircase? But other than that, I think it looks great. Doyoung from NCT, who's one of my biases, is the brand ambassador for Dolce & Gabbana. I've actually really liked the work he's done with Dolce & Gabbana in the past, but this latest campaign, you guys, let's get into it. Dolce & Gabbana is a brand that I find really leans into the Italian heritage. The brand's aesthetic is all about being like over the top, eccentric. It's a man that really wants to be noticed. So think of things like fabrics like velvets, silks, things like that. Doyoung wears a variety of different looks in this campaign. And one thing I will say about Dolce & Gabbana is that they always put him in like a nice variety. So the first thing he wears is this kind of like cheetah print pajama top, the coat over top of it. He also wears this velvet suit with a cummerbund, is that what it's called, the kind of waist thing? And then this shirt with a really eccentric like necktie thing detail. Then he wears this kind of lace sheer top and layers like a big oversized coat over it. Then this more kind of a crop military coat with a beret. and then this kind of evening jacket with the Dolce & Gabbana necklace. Now, my main gripe and dissatisfaction with this campaign is that I feel like the way they shot this campaign, it makes it very hard to see anything at all. Like, he wears all black jackets against the black background, and there's no kind of like background or key light to separate him from the background. So it's kind of hard to see what we're looking at all, which, you know, when it comes to Doyoung, I want to see it all, you guys. And comparing this to past campaigns, I feel like this is definitely on the weaker side. I feel like, to me, this felt a little bit rushed. I feel like the background, they definitely needed some work. It was shot a little bit too tight in the corner. Maybe if they had like more of like an open space, it would have looked nicer, but maybe the background just wasn't conducive to that. I don't know. But yeah, I just don't feel like the quality of the campaign is what I've come to expect from Dolce and Gabbana and Doyoung. Sunwoo from the Boyz, who recently became Amiri's global brand ambassador, just started his first campaign for the brand. Now, Amiri is a brand I feel like has really transformed itself as a brand recently, because when I think of the old Amiri, in my mind, I'm thinking of this very kind of like skinny jean, distressed skinny jean, this kind of LA grunge look with the skinny jeans and then the flannels, distressed, destroyed flannels. Like, that's the vibe I really got from Amiri back then. But now, as I see Amiri shows and them trying to develop themselves as a brand, it's more so going to this kind of West Coast soft tailoring. Like, that's the kind of like old Hollywood glamour kind of vibe, but for menswear. Like, I feel like it's an interesting development from what they were into what they are now. It's not a complete like 180, but it's just making more of like an evolution than a lot of other brands, I would say. And I feel like you can really sense that with this latest campaign, that they're really trying to lean more so into this kind of old Hollywood glamour, jazz club from the 70s kind of vibe. I find that this campaign is really well styled. So in the first look, he wears this kind of new age type of suit where it's more of like relaxed, it's slightly longer, the lapel drops lower, the leg is more wide, it's made out of tweed. And then he wears this kind of like silk scarf that's just peeking through with the sunglasses. It's very kind of like suave Hollywood star. Again, you see the idea of this kind of more oversized, relaxed suiting with this checkered suit. And underneath he wears this really beautiful cardigan actually. And then like some kind of red collar shirt as well. Sunwoo wears a couple cardigans in the campaign, which I really like. One, he wears it over top a like kind of like a spread collar silk printed shirt. Looks really like 80s, really 80s cool, very Miami Vice. Everything fits really, really well in this campaign. I think the aesthetic that they were trying to go for really came across in a great way, actually. And is it because I alt-bias the boys that I'm saying a lot of these positive things? Maybe. But is the campaign also really good and features really desirable clothes, in my opinion? Definitely. Like, for Amiri to go from these kind of distressed skinny jeans and like ripped flannels to these kind of super relaxed luxe kind of tailorings, like how did they do this, you guys? It looks so good. The way Calvin Klein manages to get all these top A-list K-pop idols, you guys, is actually, like, how are they doing this? Like, for real, like, how are they getting these contracts sent to these top level stars? K-pop's ultimate representative visual, Eunwoo from Astro, just starred in Calvin Klein's latest Fall/Winter 24 men's campaign. Calvin Klein is a really interesting brand to me because I feel like right now their entire aesthetic revolves around this idea of their classic underwear and their classic boxers, and how they manage to perpetuate this idea of this is by enlisting like all these top level stars. So it's more so this idea of like they're a very celebrity driven brand because they don't have a lot of like they don't have clothes that they can lean on to market themselves. So what they'll do is that they'll enlist all these top level A-list celebrities, not even just K-pop idols, to star in their campaigns and to show that they can really create these cultural moments and be culturally relevant because they're just showing all the top celebrities, right? And for the most part, celebrities will want to star in these campaigns because Calvin Klein is such an iconic brand. Like, their underwear is so iconic. They've had so many iconic campaigns. And so then it's actually, the celebrities feel like it's beneficial for them to star in Calvin Klein to show that they are part of the biggest mainstream brands. Anyways, that was a little bit of a tangent. Let me get into the campaign with Eunwoo in it. So for the campaign itself, it's more so focused on their kind of core basic offerings, not the underwear. It's more so like their Calvin Klein jeans, shirt, jackets. Like I said, they're very core basic offerings. The first look, he wears this blue button-up shirt with a coat underneath it. This kind of blue is very influenced by Miu Miu, I would say. Miu Miu, ever since they showed that kind of signature Oxford blue in their Spring Summer 22 show, every brand and every K-pop idol has been since wearing blue. Like, I'm telling you guys. But it looks great, actually. I think this is a shirt I would like to get. It's cute. And this look, he's wearing kind of like a burgundy bomber jacket. Calvin Klein's the brand, again, like I said, is known for their jeans, their denim, like their 90s denim campaigns, and then their underwear as well. Finally, of course, we have the Calvin Klein jeans logo shirt underneath the blazer. I find that a lot of brands like to do this. They have like a casual shirt underneath, and then over top of it, they put a blazer. And then he's wearing like, again, like the wash black jeans. I think this look actually looks great. Overall, I find this campaign, like, did it do what it needed to do? Yes. Was it the most exciting clothes? Not really, but I get what they're trying to do. I get where Calvin Klein is as a brand, but I actually can admire that they have access, or they've retained all these top level stars. Like, it's crazy how they have Eunwoo, they have Mingyu, they have Jungkook, they have Jennie. They just have so many K-pop idols, and it's very iconic, but do I really slightly hope that they can do something bigger than, or something more impactful than a photo shoot on a white backdrop? Definitely I do, but they've shown that they can do that with Jennie, like with her collection, but you know, still. You know what I would really want to see? Them bring together Jungkook, Mingyu, and Eunwoo, like a 97 liner for a whole campaign. Imagine how that would actually break the internet, you guys. Like, that would be crazy. Do you see how I was not kidding when I said that there's a lot of fashion campaigns that start K-pop idols this season? Like, look how many that was. That was actually a lot, you guys. But let me know whose campaign you guys thought was the best. Like, out of all the campaigns I just showed you, who do you think that aligned with the brand very well, or who had the most interesting photo shoot? I feel like for me, I want to say my top two are the Stray Kids campaign. I think that was filled with a lot of like desirable clothing that I would actually want to buy into. It's great to see them as a group. And the other one definitely had to be Sunwoo from the Boyz for the Amiri campaign. I think the overall set and casting of the campaign was great. The looks and the way it was styled was really great. The pieces were really great. I think, yeah, like it was just overall a great campaign. So which one was my best one? It's gonna have to be Sunwoo, you guys. It was just too good. Like, the Amiri campaign, I loved it. Okay, that wraps up my review of the Fall/Winter 24 campaigns that star K-pop idols. Overall, which campaigns do you guys like the most? Out of the women's campaigns and out of all the boys' campaigns, who do you guys think did the best? If you haven't checked out the women's video, make sure to check it out because my girls were very much glam in those videos, you guys. Or in that video. But yeah, did you guys enjoy this series? Did I miss any K-pop idols? Did I miss any campaigns? What would you like to see? Again, let me know all your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to read your comments. If you like this video, you had fun watching it, make sure to subscribe to FashionULT because my name is Kevin and I always make videos like this where I teach K-pop fans all about the world of fashion through our alts.